Now he saw a woman with unusual beauty taking a shower. Most of the time, I taught the young people this, there's this what you call no bounds rule. No bounds rule. When you actually see, a woman with, belly hanging out and really tight, jogging, I told them, it's not a sin if you see him, if you see her. It's a sin if you look back again. So you don't bounce back. You actually see a woman. Yeah? Sometimes I experience that, and God's always saying, don't look back. Because some women, they have no sense of how they clothe. They clothe with rubber band strips, and, cleavage hanging out, you just go into Target. You don't need to wear like that. But, it's not a sin to actually see someone like that. But if you look back again, and you look back again, or if you say, oh, I cannot see that. If you actually say that, that means there's a conflict waiting to happen because there's desires from within that wanted to come out. So here David saw a woman with unusual beauty taking a bath. Now look what he does. There's an option. He can just, I'm the king. No. Look at verse 3. He sent someone to find out who she was. And he was told she is Bathsheba. I mean, this girl's name is already sexy. You know what I'm saying? What more is her appearance? So the servant said, Master, she is Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, and the what? The wife of Uriah the Hittite. Now, if you hear that, of course, there's supposed to be a change in your mind. Now, we cannot blame King David as king. He can control everything. He probably have a lot of, wives. Actually, during this time, he has actually 2 already or 3. So you cannot blame him to go after this woman. But when the servant says she is the wife, that should change everything, right? It should change. Oh, she's taken. She has a husband. But look what King David says. Then David sent text message to her. And when she came to the palace, what did she do? Or he do? He slept with her. Drama! Say drama! Drama! That's how you get yourself in trouble. You desire something in your heart. You don't ask God. You don't go to God. Just what James said. Amen. Last week. Where does quarrels and fights start among you? Isn't it because of the desires battling within you? You kill and you covet, but you do not have because you do not ask God. And when you ask God, you don't get it. Why? Because you ask with the wrong motives. If you want to get yourself in trouble, just follow David's example. He knows already the woman has a husband. He still pursue after her. So now here, look at verse 5. Oh, verse 4. Then David said, okay, there's verse 5. Oh, verse 4. Then David sent messengers to get her, and when she came to the palace, he slept with her. She had just completed the purification rites after having her menstrual period. Why did the Bible say that? Because the Bible wants to make sure that we get the whole picture here. What the Bible is saying here, Bathsheba actually just had her menstrual cycle, meaning she wasn't pregnant. Right? When David saw her, she wasn't pregnant, she just finished her menstrual cycle. So then she returned home. And look at verse 5. Later, when Bathsheba discovered she was pregnant, she sent David a Facebook message saying, "You, my baby daddy." what the Bible says. What kind of version do you have? I have the donkey version. Later, when Bathsheba discovered she was pregnant, she sent David a Facebook message saying, "You, my baby daddy." Number one in our notes. Number one in our notes. Peace breakers are self-centered. Peace breakers are self-centered. James taught us last week that conflict starts from our selfish desires that battle within us. You kill and you covet, but you cannot have what you want. What did just David do here? He coveted a man's wife. Because there's something within us. When we want something, when we expect something and we don't come to God, be sure of this, conflict is at hand. When you want attention, when you want love, when you want a sense of something, sense of family, whatever it is that you're looking for, that you're longing for in your life, you're looking for healing, you're looking for this and that, and you don't come to God first, conflict is at hand. Because along the way, your expectations are not going to be met, and you are going to start to act up. Amen? You are going to start to act up. And when you want something, one thing that you should ask first, God, is this your will for my life? God, do you really want me to have this house? God, do you really want me to have this car? God, do you really want me to have this job? God, do you really want me to have this girlfriend, boyfriend? God, do you really want me to marry this guy or this girl? You should ask first, Lord, what is your will in my life? Because the Bible says you do not get what you want because you do not ask God. And when you ask God, you ask with the wrong motives. In other words, I just want this house because I want to be satisfied. I just want this because I want to get that attention. I want this because this is all about you. And this is what happened to David. David didn't even think about it. This is the same David who killed Goliath. And why did he kill Goliath? Because he loved God. He killed Goliath. He says, who is this giant that he can talk about the people of the God of Israel? And for him, it was personal. That's why even he was small, he killed Goliath. This is the same David who loved God. But during this time of his life, he didn't even think about going to God. Why? Because I bet he knew his desire was selfish. His desire was selfish. You want less drama in your life? Ask God's will. Ask God's will. Because now maybe most of you have financial problems and you're saying, oh, because of you, God. No. Because you didn't ask God first. Oh, I'm so tired of paying rent, this and that. And God says, who told you to buy a house? Oh, I don't know where to get the money to pay my BMW. Dude, you're working at McDonald's. What are you doing BMW for? Amen? Most of the drama that we have is because we don't ask God first. Amen. We don't come to God first. When we come to God, we have selfish desires. That's what James says, and that's what happened to David. David's selfish desires had caused him to covet another man's wife, and later on, murder someone. James says, you kill and you covet because you do not have. David, later on, we'll see, he's going to murder someone. Why? Because of his own selfish desire. He wanted to get out of the conflict so bad that he tried everything. It didn't work. What is the last resort? Kill someone. And most of the time, that's the real identity of peace breakers. When you handle conflict focusing on just the person, you're always going to end up breaking something, killing something. If not physically, spiritually, relationship, it's going to be broken. Last week's acronym, SCURT, kiss your relationship with God. If you are a peace breaker, kiss your relationship with God. Because you're never going to mend a relationship being a peace breaker. David had a choice to own up to his actions, but he had a plan to solve the problem on his own. And he